Hello, good evening, students. Today we are going to do revision on the first chapter, that is crop production and management. We shall deal with the questions and answers of the exercises in chapter 1. So let's start. First question: why should we study this chapter, crop production and management? The questions that pop in our mind is: what is a crop? Why do we need crops? And what do you mean by crop production and management? The answer is simple. We need food such as rice, maize and paddy. And where do we get all this food from? We get it through the process called as agriculture. Agriculture is a process of cultivating land and produce rice, wheat and other food crops. Through agriculture, we could produce a large amount of food. And for that, we require proper management and distribution. So, in this entire chapter, we will be studying about these agricultural practices. In this chapter, first question: what is a crop? When plants of the same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale, they are called as crops. When I say of the same kind, it can be either rice is cultivated on the same field or sometimes wheat in this field. So it should be the same kind. Such type of plants are called as crops. Crops can be of different types. Not only rice or wheat are called as crops. Even fruits, when they are cultivated in a large scale, they are called as fruit crops. And vegetable crops, when vegetables are grown in a large scale. Okay? So crops can be classified based on the seasons into two. One is Kharif crops, the other one is Rabi crops. Kharif crops are the crops that are grown in rainy seasons, that is from the month of June to September. Rabi crops are the crops grown in winter season, that is from October to March. The examples of Kharif crops are paddy, rice, maize and corn, soybean, groundnut. So these are the crops that grow in rainy season. And the examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, peas and mustards. These are the crops that are grown in winter season. And besides this, pulses. Do you know what are pulses? Pulses are lentils, that is dals like tur, whole dal, etc. And vegetables are usually grown in summer. The next we will see the basic practices of crop production. This is a very important part of the chapter. In agriculture, that is a cultivation of crops, certain activities are done by farmers over a period of time. And these agricultural practices are: first one is preparation of soil. That is, we turn and loosen the soil. The second is sowing. That is, we throw the seeds. Third is adding manure and fertilizers to replenish the soil. Fourth is irrigation, where we watering all the crops. Fifth one is protection of weeds. Weeds are those undecided plants that are grown along with our crops. Sixth is harvesting. And seventh point is storage. Now we will discuss each of these practices in detail. So, the first agriculture practice is the preparation of soil. The three questions that come to our mind is: what do you mean by preparation of soil? Why do we need to prepare the soil? And how can be done? So, let's see what do you mean by preparation of soil. Preparation of soil means turning and loosening the soil. Why do we need to do this? That is, since only a few centimeters of topsoil supports a plant growth, turning and loosening the soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top, and so the plants can use it. That is, the soil. It contains minerals, water, air, and some living organisms along with the nutrients of the dead organisms. That is, the dead plants and animals are decomposed by soil. Organisms and the nutrients in that organisms released back to the soil. So when we turn and loosen the soil, these nutrient with soil is brought back to the top and the plants can use it. The loosened soil also helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes. Earthworms and microbes are called as the friends of farmers, and they in turn help in turning and loosening the soil. By loosening the soil, the roots can penetrate deep into the soil, making them to breathe easily, and they could exchange gases as well. This process of turning or loosening the soil is called as plumbing or tilling. Plumbing or tilling is a process of turning or loosening the soil, and this is done by a plough which is made of wood. We will discuss this plough in the next slides. This is a process of ploughing. See this, how we turn and loosen the soil with the help of plough. But if the field is dry, watering is required before ploughing, and the ploughed field may have big clumps of soil called as crumbs. See this, all crumbs of soil. These are the crumbs, and it is required to break those crumbs. And for that we have this thing called as leveler. It is connected to a tractor, and the process is called as leveling. And with this leveler we could break all these crumbs, and we also add manure to the soil before tilling because it helps in the proper mixing of the soil. Therefore, before ploughing we add the manure to the soil, and then we loosen the soil. So how is ploughing done, or how can we loosen and turn the soil? It can be done by using these tools. The first one is plough, a hoe and a cultivator. The plough is an ancient tool used for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers, removing weeds and turning the soil. It is made up of wood and it is drawn by a pair of bulls. It contains a strong triangular iron strip called as ploughshare. Main part is a long log of wood called as plough shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft, and the other end it is attached to a beam placed on the bull's neck. Nowadays, iron ploughs have replaced the wooden ones. The second one is hoe. This tool is also used for removing weeds and loosening soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron called as a beam. A strong, broad, bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends and works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. The third one is cultivator. But nowadays, ploughing is done by cultivator. It saves labor and time. So the second agriculture practice is sowing. What do you mean by sowing? Before sowing, we should select good quality of seeds, clean and healthy seeds, and then if we select such seeds, we will get a high yield of crops. Now let's see the tools which are used for sieving. So the first tool is a traditional tool. The traditional tool used is shaped like a funnel. See, in this picture we could see a funnel. The seeds are filled into this funnel. The funnel is passed down through 2 or 3 pipes here. We have only one pipe, but it can also be 2 or 3 pipes. And it has sharp ends, and when these ends pierce into the soil, they place the seeds. And this is a traditional tool. The second important tool used in sieving is a seed drill. Nowadays, we use seed drill for sieving with the help of tractors. This is a real-time implementation of a seed drill. We have a tractor here, and this is a seed drill. The seed drill will sow seeds uniformly at equal distance and depth. See, equal distance and depth, thereby avoiding the overcrowding of plants, and it ensures that the seed gets covered as well, so that it protects the seeds from eaten by birds. It saves both time as well as labor. The third agriculture practice is adding manures and fertilizers. Due to continuous cultivation of crops, the soil gets impoverished. And what do you mean by impoverished? The soil would be poor in nutrients. Thus, the farmers have to add substances in the form of nutrients to the soil. These substances are called as manure and fertilizers, and these replenish the nutrients of the soil. This process is called as manuring. It is a process of adding manures and fertilizers to the soil, and an insufficient and improper manuring results in weak plants. Now let's see the 3 questions. What is manure? How is it formed and why do we need to use manure? So what is manure? It is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant and animal waste is called as a manure. How is it formed? The farmers dump plant and animal waste into the pits, which are then decomposed by microorganisms such as earthworms or microbes, and this decomposed matter forms organic manure. Now, why do we need to use manure? Manure helps in retaining water level. It holds the water capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous and improves soil texture. It helps the root to breathe easily, and it increases the number of friendly microbes. That is, it increases the growth of earthworms, which helps in loosening and turning the soil. Now, what are fertilizers? The fertilizers are the chemicals which are rich in a particular nutrient. How is it produced? These are produced in factories. Some of the examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, nitrogen phosphorus, potassium, and it is NPK. Now we know the uses of fertilizers. There are both advantages as well as disadvantages. The advantages is that it helps the farmer in better yield of crops such as wheat, paddy and maize. Disadvantages is that because of this chemical, the soil becomes less fertile and it is a major source of water pollution. So because of this disadvantage we can be done. So we could substitute the fertilizers with organic manure. With the help of manure, it helps to replenish the soil. And the second is that we could leave the field uncultivated in between crops, or we could apply the process of crop rotation, that is growing different crops alternatively. For example, if in one season we grow legumes as a fodder and in the next season if we grow wheat, we could find that the soil would be rich in nutrients. For crop rotation is also a very important method for substituting fertilizers. So let's see the difference between fertilizers and manures. The fertilizers are man-made, whereas manures are natural substances. The fertilizers are prepared in factories. Manures are prepared in fields. The fertilizers doesn't provide any humus to the soil, whereas manures provides a lot of humus to the soil. The fertilizers are rich in nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but manures as compared to fertilizers are less rich in nutrients. So we saw the first agriculture was a preparation of the soil. The second was sowing. The third was adding manures and fertilizers. Another fourth one is irrigation. What do you mean by irrigation? Irrigation is a supply of water to crops at regular intervals. The supply of water to crops at regular intervals is called as irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation, it varies from crop to crop. That is, the water required for wheat might not be the same as compared to rice. It may vary from soil to soil and from season to season. That is where the Kharif crops require less water as compared to Rabi crops. Now the sources of irrigation are tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams and canals. Why is irrigation required? Germination of seeds doesn't take place under dry conditions. It have to be watered properly. Nutrients dissolved in the water are transported to each part of the plant. It protects crop from both cold as well as hot air currents. And to maintain the moisture of the soil, we require irrigation. Now the fifth agriculture practice is protection from weeds. What are weeds? The undesirable plants. What? The undesirable plants that may grow naturally along with the crops are called as weeds, and the process of removing these weeds is called as weeding. Weeding is a process of removing these undesirable plants. Why do we need to protect plants from weeds? It competes with crop plants for water, nutrients, space, and light. It affects the growth of the crop. It may even interfere in harvesting, which may be poisonous to humans as well as animals. Therefore, it is required to do weeding. Now, the sixth agriculture practice is harvesting. What is harvesting? The cutting of crops after it matures is called as harvesting. The crops take about 3 to 4 months to mature, and we either cut the crops close to the ground or pull it out. So that process is called as harvesting. We can do it manually with the help of sickle or by a machine called as harvester. Then in the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff, and this process is called as threshing, and it is done by a machine called as combine. This is a combination. It has both harvester and as well as thresher. It harvests the crops and then it separates the grain seeds from the chaff. Farmers with small land do threshing with the help of winnowing. The seventh and the last agriculture practice is storage. Now, why do we need to store these harvested grains? To keep the harvested grains from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms, we have to store it properly. As a grain contains moisture, they should be dried before storing, so that we could prevent the attack of insects, pests, bacteria, and fungi. Now, how do we store these grains? The farmers store these grains in jute bags or metallic bins, and for large scale storage of grains, it is done in silos. This is a silo or granaries where large amount of jute bags are placed like a stock inside a big store that are called as a granaries. Well, animal husbandry. Like plants, animals also provide us different types of food like milk, eggs, meat, wool, etc. Like crop production and management, animals reared at home or in farms should be provided with proper food, shelter, and care. This done in large scale is called as animal husbandry. That is, animal husbandry is the process of taking care of animals that are rare at home by giving them proper food and shelter and